Have you ever wondered why some people seem to digest their meals effortlessly while others face constant bloating, discomfort, or irregularity, especially later in life? It's tempting to blame these changes on just getting older. But what if there's more to the story? Think back to a time when you felt truly at ease in your body. No sudden cramps after dinner. No frustrating days of feeling sluggish and out of sorts. For many older adults, these moments can feel increasingly rare. Yet hidden within your body, there's a bustling community of tiny helpers, your gut bacteria, working around the clock to keep you feeling energized, clear-minded, and comfortable. The fascinating part is that one key element often goes overlooked when seniors try to improve their digestion and overall wellness. That's our mission here today, to explore this secret ingredient to healthier gut bacteria that many people over 65 simply miss. Now you might ask, why should I care about these microscopic organisms in my digestive tract? The truth is, they have a profound influence on more than just digestion. Research suggests that a healthier gut environment can boost immune function, support better nutrient absorption, and even help stabilize mood. By the time we reach our 60s and beyond, we've accumulated decades of habits that shape these gut microbes, for better or worse. Everything from the foods we eat to how we handle stress can tip the balance of this ecosystem. Unfortunately, many older adults discover too late that certain long-standing routines, like automatically avoiding certain food groups or turning to quick fixes for heartburn, might actually weaken the beneficial bacteria we rely on. Addressing this issue matters because improving gut health can be a game changer for how you feel daily. Imagine having the energy to tackle your errands without the nagging worry of an upset stomach, or enjoying meals with loved ones without the dread of that gassy, uncomfortable feeling afterward. Imagine sleeping more soundly and waking up refreshed because your body is finally getting the nutrients it needs. Gut health touches all of these aspects of life, and yet countless seniors are still unaware of the subtle shifts in diet, routine, and mindset that can restore their gut's natural balance and, in turn, enhance both physical and emotional well-being. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at several clues and strategies, like detectives on a case, until we uncover the full picture of what truly leads to a flourishing gut environment for seniors. Along the way, you'll learn how one 72-year-old grandmother overcame chronic discomfort by making one simple change to her daily breakfast, how an 80-year-old gentleman found surprising relief from restless nights by adding a single habit to his evening routine, and how countless older adults are rediscovering the joy in mealtime once they understand the power behind this overlooked secret. Consider this your invitation to step outside the common assumptions we've all heard about cleaning up your diet or cutting out carbs, and instead dive into the deeper connections that link your gut bacteria to your overall well-being. I'm not a doctor, but I've spent years talking to nutrition experts, reading up on research, and gathering stories from seniors who have successfully turned their health around. My goal is to share insights that might help you too, always in partnership with the guidance of your own healthcare providers. Together, we'll unravel myths, challenge outdated advice, and explore new perspectives that can make a genuine difference in your day-to-day life. If you stick around to the end, you'll walk away with practical tips you can implement right now, plus a refreshing sense of optimism about what's possible at any age. Before we dig into the heart of this investigation, do me a small favor. Take a moment and think about how you've been feeling. Are you battling any lingering gut issues? Or perhaps you've been noticing subtle changes, like feeling sluggish or experiencing unexpected mood swings that you weren't sure how to explain. Keep those observations in mind. As we move along, see if any of the insights resonate with your life. You might just discover an approach that reignites your vitality and helps you enjoy the freedom you deserve. It's time to pull back the curtain on the big question. What is this overlooked secret that can make or break our gut health as we age? And how can we use it to our advantage? Let's start by examining the first piece of evidence, one that challenges a very familiar assumption most of us hold about healthy eating and what it really means for your microbial allies. A lot of us grew up hearing that a bland or strictly limited diet helps soothe the digestive tract. Maybe your mother told you not to eat certain spicy or rich foods because they might upset your stomach. Over the years, you might have taken that advice to heart, cutting out category after category of foods in the hope that your gut would calm down. Take Sandra, a 73-year-old retired librarian who had always believed she had to avoid nearly all fruits because of her occasional acid reflux. By her late 60s, her diet was extremely narrow, mostly toast, mashed potatoes, and lean chicken, because she was terrified of triggering discomfort. Although well-intentioned, Sandra's approach to eating actually starved her beneficial gut bacteria of the variety they needed. She found herself feeling lethargic and prone to digestive flare-ups anyway, despite being so strict. Here's the misconception. Many seniors think that eating fewer types of foods means fewer triggers and therefore better gut health. But the reality is that our gut bacteria thrive on diversity. The more variety of plant-based foods, healthy proteins, and natural fibers we consume, the richer our microbiome becomes. Think of your gut like a flourishing garden. A wide range of plants attracts an equally wide range of helpful pollinators and microorganisms. If you only plant one or two kinds of seeds, your garden and your gut might struggle in the long run. Emerging insights from nutritional research suggest that seniors who include a rainbow of foods in their diet tend to have healthier gut profiles. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to eat foods you dislike or triggering actual allergic reactions. Instead, it means experimenting gently with produce you may have neglected for years. If you've been avoiding most fruits, you might start with low-acid options like bananas, melons, or blueberries. If you typically only eat one or two kinds of vegetables, add in a weekly rotation of colorful choices: carrots, leafy greens, bell peppers, prepared in ways that suit your taste buds. You might be surprised by how your digestion and energy respond to this newfound variety. On a practical level, try setting a small goal. Each week, introduce one new fruit or vegetable, or simply switch up how you cook your staple foods. Maybe you steam your broccoli one day and roast it another. Maybe you blend spinach into a soup rather than only having it in a salad. These small, incremental changes can encourage different strains of beneficial bacteria to flourish. And from an emotional standpoint, opening yourself up to culinary exploration can feel liberating. Rather than living in fear of potential discomfort, you become an adventurer in your own kitchen, guided by curiosity and joy, rather than caution alone. It's worth acknowledging that some older adults have legitimate dietary restrictions due to conditions like diverticulitis or medication interactions. Always consult with your healthcare provider if you're unsure. But don't dismiss the possibility that expanding your food variety might be exactly what your gut needs to rediscover its balance. The payoff? Fewer surprising flare-ups, more stable energy, and the simple pleasure of enjoying a broader menu at mealtime. And if you're still a little hesitant, that's perfectly normal. Think like a health detective. Test a small change, observe how you feel, and gather your own evidence. Then move forward confidently, knowing you're on the right track. If you're following along so far, let me know. What's one food you've been cautious about that you might be willing to try again? Take a moment to consider it. Sometimes just identifying that first step is enough to spark the courage to act. Next, let's move on to another piece of this puzzle: how your stress levels, mood, and daily mindset can directly impact the health of your gut microbes, often in ways we don't realize until we see the effect firsthand. Most of us think of the gut and the mind as two separate worlds. We imagine our digestive system as a purely physical process. Food goes in, nutrients get absorbed, waste leaves, and our emotions and stress live in the brain. But here's a revelation many seniors miss. Your gut and brain are constantly talking to each other via a network of nerve pathways and chemical signals. That's why we say we have gut feelings or butterflies in our stomach. And as we age, the impact of chronic stress or anxiety can become more pronounced, creating a domino effect that disrupts gut bacteria. Consider Howard, a 76-year-old widower who was generally healthy for most of his life. After his wife passed away, he found himself under enormous emotional strain and noticed a gradual change in his digestion. Meals he once tolerated just fine suddenly caused bloating and cramps. He assumed it was a new food sensitivity, so he eliminated various ingredients but saw little improvement. His turning point came when he attended a bereavement support group that also offered gentle mindfulness sessions. Within a few weeks of practicing slow breathing exercises and short meditations, Howard realized his digestive troubles were easing. He didn't drastically alter his diet. He simply addressed the stress that was wreaking havoc on his gut microbiome. The misconception here is that stress reduction is just feel-good advice with little bearing on physical health. In reality, chronic stress can cause the body to release hormones and inflammatory signals that disturb the balance of gut bacteria, making it harder to break down food properly or absorb nutrients. Some research even suggests that certain bad bacteria can flourish under prolonged stress, further throwing your system off balance. By proactively managing emotional strain, you not only ease the mental burden, but also create a healthier environment for the beneficial microbes that keep your digestion on track. Implementing stress management doesn't have to mean attending full-length yoga classes or seeing a therapist 3 times a week, though both can be helpful, of course. Simple activities can be just as powerful. You might start your day with 5 minutes of deep breathing, inhaling slowly for a count of 4, holding your breath for 2 counts, and exhaling for 4. You might take a short stroll around the block in the afternoon, paying attention to the sights, sounds, and smells around you. Or you could maintain a gratitude journal, noting 3 things that brought you joy or comfort each day. These small moments of calm can help keep stress hormones in check, which in turn supports a happier, more balanced gut environment. Emotionally, learning to manage stress can also restore a sense of control and resilience. Many seniors have shared that once they began addressing their stress, be it from loneliness, financial worries, or health fears, their digestion seemed to follow suit. It's almost like discovering a hidden switch that, when toggled, affects both mood and gut health simultaneously. If you've ever felt the weight of worry or anxiety settling in your stomach, this connection won't come as a surprise. So why not leverage it to your advantage? Remember, too, that loneliness can be its own form of stress. Maintaining social connections, whether through clubs, places of worship, or community centers, can offer an emotional buffer that also benefits your gut health. If you find that certain social settings cause anxiety, consider smaller gatherings or one-on-one visits with close friends or family. The goal is to reduce your stress load in ways that are practical and sustainable for you. Think of it as detective work. You're gathering clues about the stressors in your life, pinpointing the biggest culprits, and experimenting with strategies to mitigate them. Each step, no matter how small, can support your gut's natural equilibrium. We've covered the importance of a varied diet and touched on the crucial link between stress and digestive harmony. Now it's time to further uncover this overlooked secret by looking at something your body might be craving. And no, it's not another restrictive diet or new supplement. Let's continue our sleuthing. We often hear that fiber is important for older adults, especially for regularity. But there's another dimension to fiber that might surprise you. Certain types of dietary fiber act as a direct fuel source for beneficial bacteria. Yet there's a popular misconception among many seniors that fiber is little more than a bulk agent to help move things along. Truth is, the right kinds of fiber can do far more than keep you regular. They can nourish the helpful microbes that protect your gut lining, reduce inflammation, and even produce short-chain fatty acids crucial for overall gut health. Take Gloria, who's 68 and has struggled with constipation for years. She tried over-the-counter laxatives, occasional stool softeners, and even drastically changed her diet in the hope of finding relief. Still, her gut remained unpredictable and uncomfortable. Through a bit of research and guidance from a nutrition-oriented practitioner, Gloria learned that not all fiber is created equal. Insoluble fiber, found in wheat bran, many vegetables, and certain fruit peels, adds bulk and helps food pass more swiftly through the digestive tract. Soluble fiber, found in oats, barley, beans, and psyllium husk, forms a gel-like substance when mixed with water. This particular type can serve as nourishment for beneficial bacteria. By intentionally adding soluble fiber sources into her meals, such as a daily bowl of oatmeal or a spoonful of flaxseed in her yogurt, Gloria not only became more regular, but also noticed she had fewer bloating episodes and more sustained energy throughout the day. The big misconception is that fiber is fiber, and any kind will do. In reality, it's wise to include both types of fiber in your diet. Aim for a balance. Keep enjoying fibrous vegetables and whole grains for that bulk effect, while also incorporating soluble fiber champions like oats, beans, lentils, and certain fruits like apples, pears, or strawberries to feed your gut microbiome. You might also consider adding a prebiotic supplement if recommended by your healthcare team. Prebiotics are essentially specialized plant fibers that act like fertilizer for your good bacteria, encouraging them to grow and flourish. Physically, the benefits of getting enough fiber can be felt relatively quickly in terms of improved bowel movements and decreased bouts of discomfort. Emotionally, there's a sense of relief that comes from experiencing a more predictable digestive rhythm. As the days of guesswork and anxiety about, will I feel bloated or backed up today, fade, you have the mental space to focus on what truly matters, be it engaging hobbies, spending time with family, or just enjoying life on your terms. If you're concerned about gas or cramps when you increase fiber, start slowly and ensure you're drinking enough water. Hydration is crucial because fiber needs liquid to work effectively and to prevent unpleasant side effects. Sometimes seniors shy away from drinking water in the evening for fear of nighttime trips to the bathroom, but you might try front-loading your water intake earlier in the day. Feeling good in your own body is worth adjusting a few routines. We've reached a natural pause here, so let's do a quick check-in. Have any of these ideas, diversifying your diet, managing stress, nourishing your microbiome with fiber, sparked an insight or a memory? Maybe you're recalling a time when you felt better because you were inadvertently following one of these principles. Or perhaps you're realizing that it's time to switch up your habits. Feel free to make a mental note of what's resonating with you. Next, we'll examine how sometimes the very strategies we rely on, like certain medications, can unintentionally sabotage our gut flora if we're not careful. It's common knowledge that older adults often juggle multiple prescriptions, yet few people realize how certain types of medications, especially antibiotics and acid-blocking drugs, can shift the landscape of your gut bacteria. There's a misconception that if it's prescribed, it must be harmless in the long term. While these medications can be lifesavers in specific circumstances, they may also disrupt the balance of beneficial bacteria, leading to recurring digestive issues. Picture Vernon, an 81-year-old with a history of acid reflux. His doctor put him on a proton pump inhibitor, PPI, years ago to manage severe heartburn. At first, it was a great relief. Over time, though, Vernon noticed that whenever he stopped the medication for a few days, his heartburn returned with a vengeance, and he began experiencing more frequent episodes of bloating and irregular bowel movements. PPI medications reduce stomach acid, which, while helpful for controlling reflux, also affects the natural environment that supports diverse gut microbes. Vernon eventually worked with his healthcare provider to see if lifestyle modifications, like not eating too late at night, elevating his head when sleeping, and reducing certain trigger foods, could help him slowly taper off the PPI. Once he found a careful, medically supervised way to decrease his reliance on the medication, his digestion improved noticeably. The lesson here is not to ditch prescribed medications on your own. That can be dangerous. Rather, it's about having open conversations with your healthcare team to assess whether certain meds are still necessary at their current doses or if there are safer alternatives. If you do need to continue a particular medication, consider adding strategies that support your gut bacteria, like increasing dietary fiber, taking probiotics if appropriate, or ensuring you're getting enough key nutrients. Simple steps, such as spacing out medication times and including fermented foods like yogurt or kefir, can help counteract some of the microbial imbalances caused by medications. On an emotional level, becoming aware of these interactions can offer a sense of empowerment. Rather than feeling like a passive recipient of prescriptions, you become an active participant in managing your health. This shift in perspective can inspire confidence, which can in turn reduce stress, a loop that keeps reinforcing healthier gut function. Many seniors find they sleep better, move more comfortably, and feel more optimistic when they're fully informed about how medications might affect their gut. If you suspect a medication may be affecting your digestion, note your symptoms and talk openly with your doctor or pharmacist. Ask if there are alternative treatments or if certain lifestyle changes might reduce the need for such strong intervention. This detective work approach, where you gather evidence and consult experts, ensures you're making decisions in your best interest without risking your overall health. We have one more crucial clue to explore in our quest to uncover the often missed secret behind healthier senior guts: the power of fermented foods and probiotics. Maybe you've heard about them in passing, or you've seen them lining the shelves in grocery stores. But do you know why they matter so much for those of us over 65? There's a lingering misconception that fermented equals spoiled, or that these tangy, sometimes pungent foods are only for adventurous eaters. But the truth is, certain fermented products like plain yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso are teeming with beneficial live cultures that can help replenish and diversify gut flora. A gentle approach to probiotics, whether from foods or targeted supplements, can be an excellent way to support digestion, especially if you've been on medications that compromise microbial balance, or if you're simply looking for a digestive tune-up. Consider Alan, a 70-year-old retiree who enjoyed a pretty standard American diet: eggs and toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and meat with potatoes for dinner. Although he wasn't experiencing any major digestive issues, he felt a vague sense of heaviness and occasional upset that he wrote off as part of normal aging. After hearing about the potential benefits of fermented foods, he decided to introduce a small glass of kefir every morning. Within a few weeks, he noticed that his usual after-lunch slump was milder and he felt more energized going into the evening. He later added a side of sauerkraut to his dinners a couple of times a week. Gradually, Alan realized that not only had his digestion improved, but his mood was often lighter as well, possibly due to the gut-brain connection we discussed earlier. The misconception is that eating fermented foods is a niche habit or just the latest trend. In fact, many cultures around the world have relied on fermented staples for centuries to promote better digestion. Whether it's plain Greek yogurt with live cultures or a bit of kimchi to add zest to your meal, you can choose products that suit your taste preferences. If you're not a fan of the pungent flavors, start with something milder like kefir or lightly fermented pickles. Over time, your palate may adapt, and you'll reap the rewards of introducing gut-friendly bacteria into your system. Emotionally, taking control of your gut health by choosing foods intentionally can feel incredibly empowering. It's a statement that you're actively caring for yourself, even if it's in a small way. And remember, it's important to be consistent. Sprinkling in fermented foods only once or twice a month won't have the same impact as making them a regular part of your weekly routine. If you're unsure how to start, experiment with a small serving in place of something you already eat. For instance, replace a sugary yogurt with a plain, live culture variety and sweeten it with fresh fruit or a dab of honey. Over time, these incremental adjustments can make a tangible difference. Now let's take a step back and piece together everything we've uncovered. We began by highlighting the importance of variety in your diet, casting aside the notion that safer means narrower. We talked about how stress reduction can soothe not just the mind, but also the body's network of beneficial bacteria. We dove into the value of fiber, especially soluble fiber, as a direct fuel source for gut microbes. We then looked at how some medications, despite being critical in certain situations, can unwittingly diminish your gut's bacterial diversity and how to navigate that with your healthcare provider. Finally, we explored the transformative power of fermented foods and probiotics, which can bring new life to a depleted microbiome. All of these clues point toward one overarching secret. Your gut bacteria need a balanced environment, nurtured by variety, mindfulness, and occasional replenishment, to truly flourish. The oversight many seniors make is focusing on just one of these aspects, perhaps only restricting their diet or only relying on medication, when the real solution involves a multifaceted, detective-like approach. By integrating these elements, you set the stage not just for better digestion, but for holistic well-being, improved energy, clearer thinking, and a more positive outlook on life. If you've been waiting for a sign that it's time to act, consider this your gentle nudge. The changes we've discussed aren't radical or expensive. They're practical, adaptable, and can be tailored to fit your comfort level. And there's a sense of urgency here worth acknowledging. The longer a harmful imbalance persists, the harder it can be to correct. Yet this urgency doesn't need to be frightening. Think of it more as an invitation, an opportunity to protect your future comfort and mobility, ensuring that the best years ahead are truly enjoyable. Take a moment to visualize yourself 6 months from now, having implemented some of these adjustments. Maybe you begin your day with a short stress-busting routine before trying a new fiber-rich breakfast. Over time, you see tangible shifts, fewer bloating episodes, more pep in your step, and the confidence to enjoy social gatherings without the worry of gut troubles derailing your fun. This vision isn't a pipe dream. It's a potential reality for anyone willing to explore the detective work of better gut care. Where do you go from here? You have multiple options. If you're the type of person who likes to dive right in, pick one of the tips that resonated most with you, perhaps something to do with fiber or fermented foods, and incorporate it into your life starting tomorrow. If you prefer a more measured pace, make a list of the ideas you found intriguing, then talk to a healthcare professional or dietitian who specializes in senior nutrition. They can help you tailor these strategies safely around any existing conditions or medications. Or if you're not yet sure how you want to proceed, commit to simply staying curious. Continue reading, listening, or watching reputable sources that delve into the gut-brain connection and the evolving science around gut bacteria in older adults. In doing so, you'll be prepared to make well-informed decisions when you feel ready. Whatever your next step, remember that you hold the power to transform how you feel. You may have decades of life experience, but your gut microbes are constantly renewing themselves, ready to respond to the smallest positive shifts. By treating your body like the remarkable system it is, one where mind, diet, lifestyle, and microbes all intersect, you give yourself the best chance at true vitality in the years ahead. So here's my final invitation. Let's continue this journey together, each of us like a health detective investigating the best ways to nurture our microbiome. Share what you learn with friends or loved ones. They might benefit from these insights just as much as you do. And whenever self-doubt creeps in, remind yourself that you're not alone and that every step you take toward better gut health is a vote for a more comfortable, fulfilling, and independent future. You've got this. After all, life past 65 can still be full of rich experiences, laughter, and new discoveries. And a happy gut can help you savor every moment,